Good morning, fellow Ambazonians. Today, now Wednesday, number 26th day for this month of January 2022. My name is Capo Daniel, the Ambazonian Governing Council Deputy Defense Chief, aka Sense Pass King. Welcome to our daily podcast. Cameroon mourns as the Ambazonian Defense Forces Presidential Commando, a newly formed battalion of the ADF, strike La République du Cameroon across the border. The incursion into La République du Cameroon by the ADF was as a result of the Dublin Conference that took place in Ireland. The World Council approved of the action that was carried out by a newly formed squad called the Presidential Commandos. This is great progress for our defense strategy, as our capacity to build new units from scratch have shown and have paid dividends to the Ambazonian War of Independence. We are calling on all Ambazonian youths across the territory to prepare themselves to fight and defend our nation against Cameroon occupation and Cameroon terrorism. Like the president of the governing council said, we must not just rely on the current batch of fighters, but a new generation of fighters should be formed to complement and carry along the baton for the journey of Ambazonia freedom. In our campaign for 1,000 new Ambazonian fighters, we are calling on all the Ambazonian public to look for ways that they can take out the Cameroon occupation forces, for they are an imminent threat to the existence of our people, and we are fighting an existential war. If you can do something, you do it. If you can take action, you take action. This is a collective struggle. We must not over-rely on the current batch of fighters. Once again, we call on every citizen, if you see an opportunity to do something, make sure you carry it out. If you cannot and you can provide the intelligence, provide those intelligence for us for opportunities that you see against the Cameroon government and its apparatus in our territory to be taken out. We will follow up with our intelligence agents and our intelligence assets on the ground. The cross-border raid was taken in Bamenyen in La République du Cameroon. The weapons of our soldiers, their machete, was forged with the anger that comes from the killing of our children on our street. It was forged with the anger from the killing of Bebe Brandy Tato in Bamenda, Bebe Caroline in Boya. That anger have been expressed. Our people should be rest assured that for any person that is slaughtered by La République du Cameroon, we will do everything humanly possible to carry out reprisals. We will strike the enemy for you. I want our people to know that that is what was in the mind of our soldiers as they carry out that attack. So as you watch images that we have put on social media from the attack in La République, know that that is an expression of the anger that we have as a people going through this Cameroon terrorism. As we say, no joy for the wicked. La République du Cameroon have suffered huge casualties as a result of hosting this African Cup of Nations against the backdrop of the Ambazonian War of Liberation and its genocidal war in Ambazonia. We, the people of Ambazonia, have always been a football-loving people, and it would have been wonderful to find out, to see and watch the African Nations Cup, but there is no joy at this moment for us to watch how our enemies celebrate this football competition as we go through the pain of genocide. Since Paul Biya took power, the Cameroon Indomitable Lions have brought joy to the hearts of many Ambazonian people and many Africans across the globe. If Paul Biya was indeed somebody who have heart for the people, it could have been something that he could have done for the people of Africa and even for the people of Cameroon and Ambazonia long ago, even in the 90s. At this late stage of his age, he is organizing this football competition not because he loved the people, but because he wants to cover up his crimes with an African football celebration. Even his own people have refused to attend stadium because they don't have money to pay for tickets, and because the Bamilekes as well are boycotting and have lost their taste for patriotism as a result of discrimination and poor governance by La République du Cameroon. The Nations Cup have been banned in Ambazonia as we exert our sovereignty over our country. And we have called on all Ambazonians to boycott this ban and illegal activity by La République, and we will take note of any Ambazonians who violate this ban and participate in the stadium to watch this football tournament. After Cameroon defeat of Comoros Island, there was no joy for the wicked, as heaven itself gave a sign on the wall with a stampede that have seen a lot of people die in their best stadium called the Olembe Stadium. As a result of this, FIFA have banned and suspended the next match that is supposed to take place in Olembe Stadium.
To indicate that there must be an immediate a committee that's set up to immediately investigate what happened. And in that context, to find out who was supposed to do what and who did not do and perform their responsibilities. We want that report by Friday. But as I said, the game that is scheduled for Olembe Stadium on Sunday is not going to take place. And as I said,
if Pobia was thinking this Nations Cup would be an opium to its people, it is not. They have no time to celebrate. There is no joy for the wicked. They have to bury their debt and take responsibility for their primitive and negligence that have led to the death of people on that stadium. This Nations Cup have been a big PR for the Ambazonian War of Liberation, as all major news platforms have taken time to talk about not just the threat, but the cause of the war in Ambazonia. The biggest plus for this Nations Cup for Ambazonia will be the cost it has had on La République du Cameroon. The cost, we believe, will be a blood cloth that will add to the economic wars of La République du Cameroon. To Amba, one of my good old friend, Mr. Sami Arimbi, contacted me recently, and he forwarded, as most our IG people, Mr. Arimbi is a staunch Seseko supporter, and he's an H-man, and is somebody that who have always been in communication with me. He forwarded me an audio made by General Okoro, where Okoro said that I had paid some of his soldiers to kill the fawn of Buchi. We all know that that is a lie. We know that that was probably made at the request of Milton Taka to try to cover up his crime. People should know that that is just a lie. I think our soldiers on the ground have tell Okoro to respect himself. From that one, my own country people, we get a very deep discussion, and the issue of our senior statesman, Professor Carlson Anyangwe, came up, and I know that because I went out, not me actually, we as an organization, we responded to a blackmail that involved Professor Carlson Anyangwe. Professor Carlson Anyangwe has been going through pain, I think, from conversation I'm having with people. He has exited from all chat groups where he participated in our liberation, and I've seen, we don't know, maybe he's taking a sabbatical or what, but it is very, very sad that we see these type of things, and I want to let our people know that Carlson Anyangwe is considered a respectable state person, and anybody can make mistake. But I must tell our people them what exactly what happened. This hypocrisy in it for stop. Like I tell Mr. Sami Arimbi, we did not attack Carlson Anyangwe. What we cannot be calling criticism attacks. We did not insult Professor Carlson Anyangwe. We simply responded. Our friends and patriots need to understand that people cannot come out. Professor Carlson Anyangwe, he was asked first in a chat group about the letter he wrote proposing how we can unite the leadership and come together as a people. the IG and the Ambazonia Governing Council coming together, he formed a framework on how Siseko and Ayabacho can arrange so that the both organizations can unite, so that it will bring all other factions around them. This document, Carlson Anyangwe claimed, did not exist. And I think this was as a result of me releasing a conversation where the Ambazonian people hear from the first time from Milton Taka, one of the IG people who agree that this document exists, that there was this collaboration exists. The IG don't always hide for public, for not talk about the collaboration where it go on, and behind it always deny. I think that they want to take advantage for take political capital for that posture, and it be regrettable. So what will happen as a Carlson Anyangwe answer a phone call from a known blackmailer, a common thief, somebody will be wanted by the ADF for instigating the assassination of General Mba Ivor, Don Pasho. This call, we know, say, na a person where they always blackmail the ADF. Dr. Professor Carlson Anyangwe pick up a phone call with he, and it denies, say, there is no document that exists that was signed by Dr. Cho Ayaba and that Siseko refused to sign. Arembi and many of the IG people are saying that Carlson Anyangwe, it will be right for talk, say, that document exists simply because they never see the document as Ayabacho be signed for day. But we all know, say, that one are just excuses. Professor Carlson Anyangwe know, say, virtual document they don't need for sign physically, it just need for be accepted to be considered as such. So it be know very well, say, Ayabacho be that accept that document. Ayabacho then have conversation with ye, conversation with Ebini, Siseko Ebini, conversation with the pastor and Siseko Ayoktabi directly about this proposition. So, Professor Carlson Anyangwe, even if he be forget, the first time where they be contact, where he be get this topic come up for the chat group, if we don't reach out for ask the AFCON, and the second time where Don Pacho Ekoli, if we at least take time for research, even if he be forget, the Ambazonia Governing Council toppest level of our administration contacted him to inform him and remind him of the presence of that document, and he still refused to accept. He accepted that he had produced that document and make that proposition only after a hard copy was sent to him. So one cannot make excuse that he did indeed forget that document. But in any case, even if he forgot that document, Professor Carlson Anyangwe should not expect anything less but criticism for participating in blackmail of the Ambazonia Governing Council. Like I told Pa Aremi Sami, that we will always criticize anybody who make mistake or who is doing something wrong. It is normal, it is natural. If we are expressing the same against La Republique, we should welcome criticism. Nobody will be immune from being criticized. Simply because you are a senior state person, you will be criticized. Of course, there are anger that have been expressed by on the grassroots level because of the magnitude of what we face. People expect people to be diligent, and people expect people to do their basic research and do their basic reference, or maybe contact each other before statements such as that is being made. So Professor Carlson Anyangwe should humble himself. The whole idea of big manism in our culture, where certain people think that because of their age, they will not be reproached, they will not be corrected when they make their mistake. They should know that that era is gone. This is a never again generation, and we are fighting for a country where people will be debated. Ideas will not be accepted simply because you are an elderly person or you are a more experienced person, but everything will be dealt with a critical mind, and people should welcome criticism as a positive for accountability and motivation for hard work. As without criticism, we can never have a democratic society, we can never have a free society. If we were to be considering criticism as attack, are we not going to become like Paul Biya, who is going to go after journalists and execute people commit disappearance simply because people challenge him. In La République du Cameroon, people do not even dare to question Mr. Paul Biya or dare to even give him advice. That should not be in Ambazonia. Whenever somebody make mistake, he should welcome criticism and should correct themselves publicly. So if Professor Carlson Anyangwe truly was fighting for Ambazonia, was fighting for the people, his ego should be lower than his patriotism to be able to receive such harsh criticism when he makes such statement that is being used as blackmail against the leading organization. It has strong repercussion for our movement. So to all our elderly people, if you think that you will not be challenged, you will not be questioned simply because of your age or longevity in service, you are wrong and you have made a mistake. In this new generation, children will question their parents. Children will ask their parents reasons for the decisions they are taking or for the directions they are going. Children will ask accountability from their parents. If our people indeed held our forefathers accountable, we will not be where we are. We will not make that same mistake. Bigmanism is gone. Ambazonian elitism will die. It is dying. It has no place in our liberation movement. It will have no place in our country after we free it. We'll build an equitable country where there will be equal opportunity, equal right, civil liberty for all. God bless you all.
You see those bad boys? They are displayed. Start the music.
Capo Daniel, signing out.